States into the republic, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can somebody make a motion to approve agenda? Second, all those in favor? Aye. And the minutes, just some brief. Tried to, just kind of the general census, not too much detail. I thought it was good to do. Can somebody approve that?
So.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Works. The, what I, in relation to, with this meeting and confidentiality, I was thinking, I think we do this anyways, but just be careful we don't mention names or addresses. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should be careful with. And you can talk general stuff, but not refer to a person. So I'm just trying to be careful about that. So I had talked to Bernadette and Brittany on Monday. Please, do you want to go over some of the issues?
Yeah, I think some of the bigger things we're noticing is mental health and addiction. More so people not really knowing where to turn to get specific services in terms of whether they just need a counselor, just talk about everyday problems to somebody who can help like write prescriptions. And then addiction, whether that's to alcohol or drugs. So those seem to be the bigger areas of what we're working on. So United Services has been like a really big help and honestly our left hand through these different scenarios, so.
Okay, so I guess I was trying to get at, on Monday, what other help do you think you need? Where do we need to,
Honestly, I think like we do a lot of outsourcing to the United Services, so I don't think we really need help in regards to that. I think it would be, as Bernadette was saying, we are noticing a lot more dementia cases. And how do we go about helping these people? And then also the topic of what and all of their issues with the residents that live there.
yeah, so what was the first you said that
How to help people who have dementia and what route we take.
yeah, I mean, I would say first, the person needs to be assessed somehow. They've got, through a doctor just to see how severe. And, for the individual, and then we need a plan, for anybody who's communicating with somebody with dementia, what's the best way to work with somebody.
We're noticing that these people are in denial.
So how do you generally?
Well, for one case, there's family involved, so the family will reach out or concerned neighbors. There's one woman who is refusing medical help, but she was brought to the hospital because there were other conditions happening that needed to be seen, and that's when they were able to do all of their evaluations. So the biggest issue is they don't want the help, and that's where we're trying to figure out how we can help them without overstepping our boundaries.
One thing that is conservatorship.
Yeah.
And somebody has to, petition that they have to prove that they really don't have the capacity to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
It's always that first step is the assessment to see how bad somebody is. But they have to, and if you're going through some of those issues, you're gonna say, I don't have any problems.
Yeah.
So
And
it's human, getting family members involved, somebody that this person trusts.
do they have a general practitioner?
So we don't know much. They're not giving us, what they're giving us is very little. I do know that with the family, they're at that state where it's aggravated dementia, so they're always yelling and swatting, and it's just a little thing that live on a dime and they're their worst enemy. So there's only so much that the family wants to do, because there's only so much abuse that they can take.
Yeah.
Which I completely understand. So just being able to have an outline and like where to go
Right.
is definitely something that we wanna help, because like I said, we're.
The, does United Services have programs?
They have different programs, we just refer to the crisis team and then they handle how they handle it.
But then they come, but you're still seeing.
Probably the person's coming.
So for dementia, we have not done anything with United Services, it was more for addiction and mental health. So yes, for that situation, we do go out there because we have that rapport with the residents, so we're just that familiar face, but we're more so hands off. So we're just that comfort that they need to know, like, okay, I recognize you, you're here, you're helpful, I don't have to be worried about who this other person is and what they're gonna do. So
Are they meeting their basic needs?
they are, like one case, there's a woman who we think is schizophrenic. She's dressing in clothes that are made for sub-zero weather and it's hot out. So we've been out to the house 5 times and she is in denial about the concerns that we have. So we were not going out there anymore because she feels like we're cornering them. So we've done all that we can with them and now United Services is handling it just because of comfort level.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 versus 1, I can see where that would be a little overwhelming. So.
So is that person, there was a commitment with that person?
What do you mean a commitment?
Well, that, you know, you get brought to the hospital, no?
Nope,
Oh,
so
I thought
they're
you
going to be going out tomorrow.
Ah,
And if a paper has to be written, then it's gonna be written then, cause it's been, like I said, 4 times.
Yeah.
So,
so how do we come up with a plan? It sounds like you need a plan of how to deal with somebody who's, I mean, some of these people can get out of control.
and I don't think we need a plan, I think we're doing everything that we really need to do, we go out first, we assess the situation, if we get a call from the fire department, we're quick, same day out there. Sometimes they don't wanna talk to us, so it'll be me by myself, or to have to wait in the car, just so that way it's not overstimulating to them. 90% chance they want that help, so we're able to have that rapport, and then we pass along the card from United Services as well as a brochure that they gave us that says if you don't wanna speak with us now, we have open hours. And if those hours don't work, then give us a call when you're ready. So we give that to them, and then based off of what the scenario is, we follow up. So everybody that we've helped since we get the phone call has been helped. So,
So you could probably get the phone calls first and then,
If we go to the house and we see an issue, yeah, but you gotta get family involved, I think is the only way.
yeah, I mean, I agree, because they're the ones that have more clout than we do. Sometimes,
but sometimes they don't have family, and that's what seems to be the common theme, is that there's no family, or there are family, but the family doesn't wanna help. So that's when we kinda take on the, we're gonna be a soft spot for you, but we're also gonna be firm to tell you, you need the help.
right,
And if you don't want it from this source, here's a couple of other sources until you're ready to get the help from that main source. So it's just, I'm noticing that a lot of people get overwhelmed when they're told you have an issue, like,
Right.
wake up. So being able to, like the one case, she OD'd 4 times in a week. And we were out there, she and I had a great rapport.
right.
And I was out there the 5th time where she was not responding. And we did a wellness check and lo and behold, she was back to using and she refused to go to the hospital. And now she's in rehab. So it's just making it known that we're there and they're not alone, but we have the services to help. So
I know, it's hard, if people don't want help, it's hard to,
you can't force them.
you can't force.
As
people.
United Services says, you kinda just have to let them go down that path until they hit rock bottom. And it's tragic.
Cause I see it, we have been seeing it, it's overwhelming. So I guess in one way, something that we could definitely set into place would be some sort of like therapy for us. Like,
Well, that's true, I
well,
mean,
it's overwhelming,
yeah,
the stuff that we're seeing. It's a lot more than people realize, from the hoarding to the mental health to the addiction to what falls under those categories, and if we can talk about it.
um, I agree, I mean, it's hard for the person trying to help these people who just aren't. Just say, I don't need it right now, or I don't have a problem.
But I think part of it is recognizing that you've done all you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now,
Yeah.
you know, and,
gotta step back.
right.
Yeah.
We used to call it sometimes watchful waiting, that you have a relationship with someone so that you're there when they are ready
Yeah.
to take that, except in the cases where someone's really in danger to themselves or others.
Yeah,
Then
that's,
there's not a whole other scenario.
Yeah,
so you're seeing a lot of very difficult situations.
yeah, I mean, we have our easier ones that acknowledge they need the help, and then United Services has taken over. But yeah, we're getting a lot more complex cases.
Every town has these issues for sure. I mean, what do you guys, I mean, I agree, I think, you know, support, I mean, I guess I was hoping that maybe this group could be somewhat of a support.
Not that I want that.
Yeah, no, I mean, a support for you guys,
Yeah. Well, I
because
think the town has the EAP, I believe, right, Mark? You guys have EAP available to you at?
I would
Yes.
go,
Yes, we do have it through our insurance. And we've actually recommended it to some of our employees when they are in need.
We use AAP at the firehouse, employee assistance, you can call them, you can talk on the phone. If sometimes you just need to talk, you can get somebody that will just, talk and be brief with you. If they feel that, or if you both feel that there's, if you want some more time to talk about it, they'll recommend, somebody to go talk to. And you get up to 3 visits through EAP, and then your insurance will pick up after that. And it's confidential. All that the town will know is that this many people used EAP throughout the year.
Yeah.
But they won't know exactly who used it and why. It's just there for all of the town employees, and we've taken advantage of it at the firehouse for situations, and we always recommend that to all of our employees, especially if we see a lot of bad things out there. And then when it's beyond that, then we'll call people into the firehouse to sit and talk with our members and stuff if we know it's.
I know this is so
Extreme.
much stuff we have no control over.
Yeah.
And people do, I mean, you know, anybody in the helping profession, you're there because you want to help people.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's just difficult.
Yep.
Cause people are in a lot of denial.
So with the denial, with folks, you know, that aren't gonna take the help, there's not much you can do, like, social services said, until they crash and burn. The only recourse we have when we go to a house, is if it's truly unsafe, we'll get the state police involved,
Right.
and then they can sign a paper, appear form, and, get them looked at. But it doesn't always go anywhere, but if they're not safe in the house, we have that we can do.
Right, you you know, then they lose control, cause then it's the town's responsibility.
Yeah. And it's an assessment, you know, done at the hospital, the state police don't like doing it all the time, it's paperwork, and you don't wanna get involved, depending on what it is. But
Right.
if there is something that's, truly unsafe, and they're gonna hurt themselves, burn the place down, things like that, we can lean towards the state police.
Well, that, you know, that's the same, like, if somebody needs, if it's a danger to themselves or others, they can be committed, or.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a
Yeah,
fair form.
and that's,
Send them to the hospital to get.
it's a commitment for a period of time.
Yeah, sometimes, well,
It used to be 10 days.
Well,
Yeah.
Peter and me used to just go to the ER to get evaluated and then
Yeah.
they decide whether they're gonna.
yeah, a lot of times they beat us home, so
Yeah, right. But at least you've done
that's the
what you
system,
did.
we're trying, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, so Do you feel that there's anything else we could, any other ideas we could come up with? I mean, it is, you're right, if somebody, it's like I used to say to people, nobody can force people to take a pill. Medication if they need it, they've gotta decide they want it, nobody's gonna go to their house, you can't force people. But you can guide people, but you can't force anybody to do anything that they don't wanna do.
You just have to have the peace of mind that you've done everything you
Right.
could to try to get the people
Yeah.
out. And then if they do crash and burn and things go bad. I mean, there's not much you can do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, you just do the best you can to try to offer people help, and if they don't take it, then
right,
you just,
Cause that's where you get the burnout as a
Mhm.
provider. is
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
know, you feel,
Well, it's like that overdose that we were dealing with, it was just like, we're gonna get the phone call, like, the stuff that she was using, it was no joke. And I'm like, we're gonna get the phone call, and I had made that report with her, I was the one who was like talking with her, going out there. And I remember the last time, like I said, she wasn't responding, and then she woke up. And we did, a wellness check, and a resident state trooper came and he deemed it was okay, like, she didn't wanna go to the hospital, she was coherent enough. And she was just cursing us out, and like, this was the first time that I've been cursed out to the extent. So I was kinda like shooken up a little bit, I was like, wow, like, I'm here trying to help you. And I was like, alright, like, took a step back, removed the emotion and just realized where she was. And so the weekend went by, and then I received a phone call from her, and she was like, Britt, I am so sorry. She's like, I'm not that person I am when I'm sober. Like, I am sorry. I'm gonna go get the help I need. I've hit rock bottom. I said, thank you so much for your support. And now she's receiving the services that
so
she
she
needs.
did,
Is.
so you
So,
did something
I
good.
did, but it still sucks, because you don't want to
Right.
anticipate something tragic
And
happening.
sometimes these guys can be very manipulative to get what they want. And it may not, it may be maladaptive what they want, but they'll convince you they're right. But.
it's a tough business you're in.
It is.
And,
yeah,
you know, us as first responders going to the house and stuff, it's a tough business, and, again, you have to just, go on the fact that you're gonna do everything you can to try to help them. Some people aren't gonna have the help, and, we can't save everybody.
No, you can't, it doesn't feel right, because we feel like we should, but
We tried,
yeah,
after doing it, 30+ years,
oh God,
you
yeah,
can't,
we do try, it's
You do.
just, but yeah, I mean, I used to say that when I was working as a counselor, if you can get through the first like 5 or 6 years as a counselor, then then you kind of somehow get more, I don't wanna say cold, but maybe more objective with it, because those first few years, you're just taking out other people's problems. And you can't, and that's what they want you to do, because if they put it off on somebody else and they don't have it anymore. I used to think these people would put their problems on me and they'd leave and they'd be perfectly happy and I'd be stressed out that they were gonna do something to hurt themselves. People, you gotta, somehow if you can get beyond these few years, then you're gonna be a great counselor. Or a great helper, because it does, I'd say at least 5 or 6 years,
Well,
right? Or longer.
I don't know, I mean, it's just, I think, one compartmentalize, that was one thing I learned early on, you could try and leave it at work, you
Yeah,
know?
I realize it doesn't work like that.
yeah.
Cause I'll be like sitting on the couch and I'll be doing my schoolwork and then it's like, oh, the thought of like what happened
Yeah,
earlier and it's like. So
Yeah.
I think another thing is maybe some training on how to like. Maybe not take it so much to heart or have it affect you.
mhm.
That would be definitely something I'd be interested in, cause
There is I've been to trainings on that.
yeah, you're saying that you're gonna.
Yeah, and there are trainings out there already. Yeah, I'm sure we could find something through United Services. Anybody in the helping profession goes through this.
Yeah,
There's a burnout, and it's because you can't help everybody, and people are manipulative, and you see horrible things.
Right.
But, so we can check, I think, that's all. Well, do you know of trainings for?
I know for our, therapists, it's just an ethical kind of practice to have your own therapist. So you can process and help, yourself, you know, And so all of our therapists have,
That counts,
You know,
they're,
they're-
they
they're-
have a therapist. I always think writing journals is good, cause then you get your feelings out on paper, and somehow that helps to kind of, at least if you can express yourself. Doesn't make that go away necessarily, but you can express your feelings in writing journals. People don't write journals like they did, and I think they're real helpful.
yeah, the other thing we try to do for our therapists is offer times where they can get together with other therapists from AHM and just, maybe not talk specifically, we wanna adhere to confidentiality, but at least talk about trends or situations, and it's just nice to be able to talk with other therapists. So I don't know in your role, it may not be here, but in other towns, other municipalities, there might be cohorts of groups that you can network with.
I like that one.
Yeah. But you need to help. I always say you have to be together within yourself to be able to help other people. And that's just, all this stuff you're talking about. So even expressing the interest is good, to kind of figure out who you are and how to kind of deal with this stuff. So not an easy, it's not an easy process, but it's tough. The first few years are worse because you do take on the person's problems, or they like it when you do that. But now you're talking about the senior housing stuff. There was some issues at Dartmouth Village.
Yeah, the smoking inside, there's a bunch more issues that I know Bernadette was working with. I'm newer to this subject, but I do know the original windows from when the building was first built are still there, so the efficiencies are not good. I know that there's limited handicap accessible apartments there. People leaving the doors open to the main building, so anybody can just walk right in. I know those are some of them.
So it's, one thing I was, I was thinking, I think I suggest is having some kind of maybe weekly, or not weekly, monthly or every other month, have like a get together over there so people can kind of get to know each other, make it some kind of social thing with. And just so people get to know each other. Now, that's not gonna solve the problems, but communication with the people there is always helpful.
But it's not senior housing.
It's,
It's
Changed it.
It's
It
not,
was senior housing when it was.
when it was born, when it was first built, it was senior housing, it's not anymore.
it's,
That's senior housing.
If you go online and look it up,
Now it's low income. So,
yeah, it's low income.
so you do have some seniors in there that would want it to be senior housing. And then being that there aren't enough, it's section 8. So the person that she was talking about doesn't belong over there, but she's over there. And there's a lot of others too that we've dealt with over the years.
we've lost
But
control.
we haven't lost it, we don't own it.
It's not-
Private corporation owns it.
And they don't care because they're getting their check.
Right,
Right,
They
So-
don't care.
it's now just, housing in the town of Columbia, like there is in every other town that couldn't outsource their senior housing that they wanted. And they take any income that they can get to fill it up. We're just like any other town,
There's a lot of issues over there.
and
And it's on since it went section 8. It's gone,
it,
yeah.
that could be, if it, I thought about this, if the town wanted senior housing, the town should buy it. Upgrade it, bring it up to code. We're lucky, that's all I'm saying is we're lucky. Because
it was built back in the
when one
nineties.
gets going, they're all gonna get, when one room and the 4 get going, it's all gonna go.
Every time a fire.
Yeah, because it's not, no one knows all the smoke detectors, they're not all wired together. They're wired per unit,
Yeah.
so if the bottom floor has a fire, that unit's gonna go off, but the other 3 aren't even gonna know. And the only way they know is if it makes the hallway smoke go off, but it doesn't make all the units go off. It's kind of like when they have a panic alarm in the bathroom and in their bedroom, they have a pull string. Cats love them. Cats will pull it, they freak out, they call 911, we got an alarm, we go there, we walk into the unit, flip the thing up, and it's over and done with. But we've gotten lucky, but that's not senior housing. It could be beautiful senior housing, and they're meant for what it's worth.
There's no fire alarms, technically, there's smoke detectors, like Jeff said. but there's no fire alarm, so when we get called there for a fire alarm, we know it's those local alarms that he's talking about, that somebody pulled a string and it's sounding on the outside of the building, it's not a fire alarm. So they have smoke detectors in the units, and then people are using their oven to heat the place, we've gone in.
Same unit.
Mhm.
When we walked in the first time, the broiler was on. And that oven was nice and warm and
Yeah,
hot.
that was them, but then there was.
Right, that was that one, yes, that's true. Yep.
Three C, whatever building it
Yep.
is.
So and then the people that move in, it's right next to the school.
Yeah.
So the school's going, what's all this going on? Sorry,
There's no privacy.
put a fence up.
Except
Because,
one of the residents should not have access to view the school.
right,
More than one of the residents.
Right.
I know what.
right, but this is what is being, it's where we are, is today's society, so.
Is it something that the building inspector, I mean, is it their meeting probably code, but.
They're meeting code, cause Mike, the fire marshal inspects them,
He's been over there.
and he inspects to make sure the smoke detectors work. So if the smoke detector works, it's up to code for that building, not up to the current state code, cause no renovations have been done.
So they can't make them.
Correct. You'd have to renovate for them to bring up the code. It's just, it's no different than like having a house. When you do a renovation in your house, you have to bring your house up to code. If they did any building construction over there, they have to bring it up to code. That's probably why nothing's getting done.
It's a business.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And I don't know when they put those units in, how many years ago it's been.
It was early 90s when you told that.
It was in the 80s.
30, 40 years.
It was before ADA, so they didn't have to, follow the.
But was it put in, and was there documents saying that it had to be senior housing? And then how
But
did,
even if it was, I think back then, it was my understanding that it was senior housing is the seniors paid at a sliding scale, so it was like Section 8, they set it up. But they called it senior housing, and the state required if it was senior housing, they'd let people with disabilities live there too. So now it's just gone to they're calling it Section 8, so it's different, but I think but seniors have always been charged on the sliding scale, they just changed but now they're not even calling it that then.
because you don't have to be a
It's
senior,
just you,
not even disabled.
You don't have to
just-
be disabled?
no, I mean,
Not that we've
So
some
it's
of
just-
some of the people that are over there, they're
Low income.
slow income. Mhm.
There's a waiting list.
Oh, yeah.
And that.
Long waiting list.
Yeah, so that's just an area of, that is not considered senior housing anymore in
Yeah.
any way.
So I don't know if that's, something you could, gotta be some way this, whoever owned it bought into this and changed some requirements and then.
That's
And they
not.
went through and they didn't have to go through the town,
Hmm.
whatever they changed. But those things we can't do anything about either. But, so can you think of anything that we can do to make it so that people are more careful? I don't know. I always think communication, that's why I was thinking of some kind of get together, but I don't, cause if they're only using the stove to heat the place, that's dangerous.
Well, they're getting charged $400, $500, $600 electric bills. In the winter, we're seeing that in one whole building, their power, which I get, it's electric heat. Drastically increased by 4 times of what they would normally pay, and it's because the hallways are linked to some apartments, the lights are linked to other apartments, and it's not wired correctly. So they're having to pay these outrageous bills, and we've contacted Wildwood numerous times, we contacted officials who needed to come in, and they've noticed problems and they were relayed to them, but they just don't wanna do the work. So.
And then you said there was a meeting with, town,
Yeah, he came in and I showed him all the electric bills and he looked over them. And he had a meeting, or they had a meeting with Wildwood, I wasn't a part of it, this was before me. But, I know last year he came back in, was looking at them again, and there is some serious issues with where the hallway is hooked up to like apartment A or the heat, it just major problems. So the poor residents are having to cover that because they don't wanna hire the appropriate personnel to come in and fix the issue. So they're stuck with these outrageous bills and there's only so much that we can do because funding's tight through access. So it's either they pay it or they get shut off. So,
Oh, so you're trying to help them with, pay the bills through access?
well, we help them with energy assistance, but
Right.
there's only so much funding, so that
Right.
$500 that they receive, that covers that 1 month, and now you're left. With nothing after that, so yeah, we've contacted Wildwood, Bernadette, Tim. But in the end, it's their responsibility and they just don't want to.
So we don't have any clout really to be able to get them to make any changes.
No.
It sounds like. How can you? So you'd have to look at some law that they're not doing something right, I guess, to be able to force that, But the meets,
Yeah, no.
yeah, there's probably doesn't. If people don't wanna do what's right, that's the only way you can approach it. I don't know, I mean, I'd be irritated if I'm paying my electric. Bill for somebody else,
Yeah,
electricity. So is there any, I don't know, I don't know how to help that, except trying to figure out if it's against some law. But is there anything else we could? It's gotta be something to, I don't know, there just seems to be. Some behaviors that aren't helpful for everybody who lives there.
Well, the only thing would be upper management to,
manage.
well, and manage to move towards eviction for people who are really endangering the safety of other people.
They're not going to,
Not gonna
look at the
happen.
woman who OD'd 4 times. And the drugs that were. Anybody could just walk right into her apartment because the front door is open,
Mhm.
her apartment's open, and there's stuff all over it. The animals are at risk, she's at risk, first responders are at risk, I'm at risk. I touch that not knowing, and I go home and I touch my kid and my kid touches his nose, he's done. So. There's many concerns, but they're not going to, we contacted them about this concern. And they have not contacted us back.
And they can be, I mean, that's against the law, when the police get called?
I don't know
You
how
can't
that.
control what you do in your own residence.
Hmm.
When you are in your own house, that you cannot. So if we go to an OD.
Yeah.
They can't arrest you. It's a medical emergency.
Right,
That's why you leave Narcan kits.
right,
It's why the state has done these things, so we know you're an abuser, okay, well, here's a Narcan kit for you. There you go, so if it happens again, your husband, your wife, your kids can give you the shot and bring you back out of it, cops cannot, whatever happens in your private residence is your business.
so even,
Unless you're breaking the law, and consider drugs behind closed doors. We know about it because we see it. If we don't go in there, we don't know what's going on, so there's no reason for them to go in there. Unless it becomes a known drug factory and they're dealing and their distribution out of there.
They need warrant.
Right, so now they've gotta have the proof, like you said, you gotta have a warrant, you gotta have proof. Now you're building a case.
Exactly, that's why.
And she's just got enough for herself, it's not like she's got bags of it. So it's very difficult, and cops nowadays are put in a harder position to go after people because of the state statutes and the standards that have been put in place.
right,
So, we watch drunk drivers get released. Because, it's too much paperwork. It is what it is. It's the way society has become. And I don't think what we're talking about here, there's nothing we can do over there. That's management, we don't own it, it's not our property, it's not the town of Columbia's property, they're not breaking any laws. Just because they allowed section 8 people to move in. There's no statute that says that senior housing 65 and over, there's nowhere written. So, and they bought it from the Tuttles, or they are their owners, so they have full rights to do what they
they
want to the property.
they bought it,
So as much as it bothers us,
yeah,
we have to accept it and adapt to it. And now we have to monitor it, because if there's stuff going on, and this is where you talk about by the school. And there might be a tenant in there that shouldn't be within so many distances to the school, if that's the case, then that's an issue. And then that's where the red flags need to go up in the air and say, timeout. Where we need to get Gary involved and say,
It goes back to they're aware of all this. Every time that somebody comes in from over there and has a complaint, we're on the phone with them relaying it, and they're rude. They are dismissive and they don't wanna do it because they're getting the monthly check, and it comes down to eviction would be my thing, okay, you're putting other tenants at risk, not only from drugs, but front doors open, you're smoking in your residence, which is affecting the guy across the hall, and the people below you who are on oxygen. There's just numerous things, but how many times are we gonna keep putting ourselves out of our way to just keep meeting a dead end? And Bernadette and I are on the phone with them at least once a week, leaving messages for the person to go out there, and we never receive a phone call back.
sounds like the problem's bigger than that, and the upper management of the town need to get involved.
I just,
Because if you're not getting your answers met, and you've come to the end of your rope, you now need uppers above you to step in and make phone calls to their management and say, your policy says no smoking. Why is there smoking going on in the units?
yeah, I'm a victim. I have 2 rental houses. If I saw something that, I mean, you're a victim, you have reasons to do that.
But you care.
Yeah.
You have the compassion, they don't, it is a business, they want the money, they have monthly income coming in, no questions asked, it's from the government, they're not going to.
Right.
They need to have that spot filled by a known check
I'm
every month.
sure they own more than one property.
Oh, they absolutely do,
Yeah.
they absolutely do.
Oh, yes, they do, look that up.
What's the name of it?
Wildwood.
Wildwood?
Well, they're the management company.
Right. And we have the contact of the management company. So Brittany, when you do have problems, I can get involved, and I have in the past. And there's a new manager, I have her name. It used to be, I think, Michael, but I can work with you and Bernadette by being one higher step to go to Wildwood Management.
Yeah, we're still waiting for a phone call back from the overdoses that happened and the concerns with the smoking. They haven't followed up, we've called 3 times.
Yeah, I've got Mackenzie Corin as that's the last management contact I have. Mackenzie. I don't know if she's still it, but her last name is Coran. Corin.
I mean, it's the management, and then I guess it's working with the individuals on stuff like with the overdoses, getting, them some help if they're willing to go through it. Which you've done, I mean, it sounds like that's gone through that process.
Oh, yeah, from energy assistance to holiday assistance to food assistance, we have some people who just don't wanna come into the center, and I get it, the pride thing. I go over there dropping food off, whether it's food or gift cards, because they prefer to do their own shopping. We have that rapport and we make
Yeah.
sure that everybody's taken care of.
So it's really, the issue is more the management over there. You get it, I know it's hard, I always say you can't give up on stuff, but it sounds like it hasn't worked well. But you're right, it's gotta be higher up. And what's the motivation, for them to make changes? So it can, I guess I mean, we can, sounds like Mark will kind of try to assist with that. Is there anything else that we could help you with some of that stuff?
In terms of over there?
Yeah.
No.
It's just ongoing.
Well, in terms of the issues, like
Yeah,
physical issues, yeah, it has to come from the management company.
it's physical issues, yeah, the people there. How many people live there?
I think there's 34 apartments,
34?
or is it 24?
24.
24, yeah.
There's 4 or 5 buildings of 4. Plus 3 offshoots or two offshoots or three
I
offshoots,
think there's
three offshoots of,
yeah, because we used to have
yes,
health and then you had the
3, 4, and 5 have
That's
offshoots,
fine.
yep,
That.
yeah, so it's like 24. No, 24,
Three.
Something like that.
something like that.
So, I mean, like I said, if you need any kind of, just to do some problem solving, I have handled different things, but, management's tough too. With that, did, you, but I don't know, yeah, I know Bernadette, you were gonna come up with some different scenarios of, you know, kind of just how to deal with different things. I don't know if you did. I remember we were talking about that.
Since Monday, no, we
Okay,
have not
that's
had
fine.
time,
That's,
unfortunately.
yeah, that's fine. That's always. You know, helpful. The other thing, we were talking about just what's the status of this group? Do we wanna meet, you know, meet quarterly to come up with a calendar of, when we wanna meet? And, it's like schedule, cause somebody said to me, if we need to schedule a regular time to meet, and then they could put it in their calendar and come. So what dates work for people? Like. Is 4 o'clock good? I know, yeah. We could do, I was thinking like, well, this is the. Like maybe the second Wednesday,
Make it work.
second Wednesday of, you know, of, let's say every 3 months, at 4 o'clock, does that work?
Right, so the next one would be in September.
Yeah. I'll send out the dates for the second Wednesday. At 4. And a charge, what do you, think of, what should we say that the purpose of it is? I came up with an idea, and this is just to throw something out there. Identifying, address and improve social welfare within the community, meet quarterly, discuss social welfare issues, identify problems, what is working and what's not working, and discuss problem solve and refer. I mean, does that, anything to add to that?
No, I think it's all.
I got some of that online when
AI,
well, yeah, it was, I put it in there, like, I mean, just social service needs for a small town, and this is kind of what came up. So I mean, I'll probably, kind of. Not dress, write it up, so it sounds a little bit better, but that's kind of what I was thinking. Trust, do you have any other thoughts on, cause we have to kind of like come up with a charge for the town of why we're meeting and.
No, that sounds good. You said the second Wednesday. Did you mean Thursday? Because today's Thursday.
This is Thursday. I was thinking to change, cause there's somebody that wanted to come and couldn't come on Thursdays, that's why I was gonna change it to Wednesdays.
I would have a conflict, but
Would that be, that one,
Wednesdays work for it.
Wednesdays would work.
That's okay if it works for other people.
I was gonna say Tuesdays or Thursdays work a lot easier for
Okay,
me.
so we could do, the second Tuesday. Is that, okay?
And that one doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work. I mean, it's hard to schedule people, everybody, there's Monday
But
or
the
Thursday.
third Tuesday.
right, this is the third.
No, it's just Tuesdays.
Oh, just.
Oh, Tuesday.
Monday.
Monday,
I mean, we can't leave it out, somebody can't do Thursday.
yeah.
Well, let's see, could we do it, no, 4 o'clock is good, right?
I could do it at 2, I have to pick, no,
There's no way we would.
okay, I have to pick up my grandson at 3. At the school,
Well, I might be able to switch my conflict.
for Tuesday,
Yeah.
okay. So second Tuesday. Okay, this is always the case, you get a lot of people and it's hard to schedule stuff. But, is there anything else to?
Mark? Are you gonna send the EAP information to Bernadette and Brittany?
Yeah, what I was thinking is sending the EAP information out to all the employees, just as a reminder that the service exists and,
Okay.
you know. We'll do that and that will get Brittany and Bernadette at the same time.
Yeah, would it, be helpful to kind of organize like a group thing? I mean, EAP is good, that's in one-on-one, but to organize like a group where people just kind of sit and the people who are involved with this stuff?
There's peer support groups out there, they have training, know what to talk about and ask about and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just us getting together and talking about it is kind
Yeah,
of like that.
I like groups personally, I always thought, because then it's problem solving, and it's like people go through the same kind of stuff who, see horrible things.
Or if you wanna formalize it as like a group discussion on that, I think. Be better off getting some people that are trained and know what to talk about.
Right.
Or send us through training or something, a little more, but.
You get people together, you have a group facilitator, and then, people just kind of chat and just cause yeah, people do everybody, you do the best you can, and you can't change a situation. You can't fix a situation. But you can be there for but like you said, you just kind of offer, I'm here, if you need me. And that's lots of times, that's all you can do.
I think that we should end the meetings on positive notes, like one is. So I can tell you that we are officially partnered with Food Share to provide food for our pantry. Our numbers have quadrupled for the pantry use. As well as the actual mobile food share that is hosted every other Thursday, our numbers are well into the hundreds. We're hearing great feedback about how we are so non-judgmental and help Columbia residents as well as other residents. We've had a lot of Hebron, people come in and we push them to HM and there's some food for stuff. Good.
Do you want me to send you information about the Hunger Action Team? You know that Bernadette was coming for a while, but, we can take a break for the summer, but it's east of the river.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of towns and we just talk about food insecurities and how we can share resources and stuff.
Absolutely.
I'll get your email, I'll add you to that.
Yeah, all the towns go through the same thing, so to be able to, share information, what works, what doesn't work, or even have the same programs.
Right, so the Hunger Action Team, we primarily focus on food insecurity, but it's a lot of, the representatives from the different food banks and school systems, and we just talk about ways that, trends for food insecurity, if, certain food banks are running low on certain items, they, will kind of share items, around the holidays when the different food pantries are trying to help with, gifts, clothing and things like that. I'll help transport, toys from Coventry over to, Hebron if they're running low and vice versa, so.
That's cool. I think that's a great thing to do. for
Yeah,
sure.
and we usually meet virtually. Okay. Like twice a year we'll get together, in person, but I can.
We also have a community event, Columbia Connects Unity in the Community. A lot of people thought it was just a wellness day, but it's actually not. We're doing all things Columbia, so I've been calling around to the local businesses, trying to get them involved. Asking for some sponsorships, we have pony rides, we have an ice cream truck, we have a few different people who are doing like a nature walk, yoga, meditation. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a great.
That's all positive.
Yeah, so we're using the LPC grant to cover most of the costs, so.
See, I always think it's good to get the staff together, all the staff, everybody who's doing this and have some kind of, I don't know, party or, barbecue or something. I don't know if we can plan something like that. It's some of this, just to thank people too, for everything they do. So maybe we can kind of organize something like that at some point too.
And that community event is August 15th.
Yep.
At Rec Park.
Yes.
So that's for the community, everybody.
That's for everybody, yeah. All residents.
Oh, that's cool.
How come it wasn't on the weekend?
I don't work on the weekend
Oh,
and
a lot of people.
Bernadette was
Friday.
together Friday.
Oh, that's the Friday?
Yeah, it's a Friday,
10 to 2 on a Friday.
10 to 2.
A lot of
It's
people
summer,
working.
so
Yeah,
I was just wondering,
I,
interesting. I hope you get a good turnout.
yeah, I mean, we have. Well, different agencies coming, so. Yeah. Fingers crossed,
Well, it's summertime too,
yeah,
so,
a lot of
yeah, you'll have families.
And
Yeah.
well, we did it because we want the kids to feel involved too, because there's not just issues with the seniors or. Adults, kids have issues, kids have problems, and the parents need to know where to turn to, and. We just wanna host a day where everybody can be heard and understand what's out there for them.
right. Yeah, and then, but last time was some parent, have just having issues having to deal with the kids too. Some of that goes on. But anyway, I always think this is good, and I've always been impressed how much people in Columbia help each other too. Yeah, I mean, you get neighbors helping people, I mean, I see all sorts of stuff. Somebody who needs something, somebody's there to give them a wheelchair, or just some stuff, it's kind of cool. Well, anyway, so I'll send out an email for the next, because that was some kind of schedule. For the next time.
Judy, can you make sure we get that on the Board of Selectmen agenda for Tuesday to officially approve the charge and
Yeah,
create the committee,
okay,
the
yeah.
quarterly committee?
Yeah, I'll write up this kind of stuff, and what I'll do is I'll write it up and send it out so people can agree with it.
Do you have to have it approved by next Tuesday? Can you
No,
have
we
it?
could do it on the 15th. Yeah, because we have a whole quarter. So you're right,
Yes.
there's no urgency.
Get some response.
Yeah,
from
we
people.
still have 3 months before we need to worry about it.
Right,
Okay,
I'll write something up, and yeah, AI is great.
Oh, yeah.
Right before,
There's a lot.
right before it came out, I wanted to have something and some thoughts, but anyways. Keep up the good work.
Adjourned at 4:53.
Yeah.
thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Pretty much here.
Good night.
Good night, bye, Sam.